So we will go ahead and slap those on as well. We'll do 2 of them, and this time I'm going to do one before we launch, so we get one at the launch pad. And I'm not so sure that we'll get much science if we do another one at 22,000 versus when we were at 5,000, but we can see. We can see what we get. And we won't be jumping out of our capsule. We will simply do a crew report while we're up in the sky. And perhaps we will try landing on the runway or somewhere else on the ground here around the Kerbal, around the Space Center, so that we can get different whatchamacallit, biome for when we landed. That might be a thing we can do. Okay, so we are going to thrust up most of the way. We're going to do our observed mystery goo while sitting here. The goo doesn't seem to be doing much right now. We're going to be getting our 3 science for that. Every little bit counts. I need my resources open. Actually, I think I'm going to have plenty of fuel. So I'm going to have the contracts open so that I can see when I need to deploy the parachutes and at what speeds. So SAS is on, and we have tested these engines. These engines work for liftoff. That is excellent. So while we need to go up past 22,000 meters, and when we are coming back down, we need to deploy our parachutes in the range of 19,000 meters to 20,000 meters. So it's a very, very small range, and we need to be inside a 300 meters per second speed range here. So we're probably going to need to slow ourselves down a bit. If I head to map view, this will tell us what our intended altitude is going to be. So we're going to be checking that as we're picking up speed here, because we don't want to waste fuel going much higher than 22,000 meters. So we're just going to keep flipping out, and we're watching our fuel gauge here. Hopefully we got 5, and we got 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 parachutes on this thing, so landing shouldn't be an issue. Okay, we're up to 12,000. We're doing good. Of course, this is going to drop because we're in atmosphere and there's drag. So we are going to need to let this go up a bit. Let's say 24, and we'll cut thrusters, and we'll see it's falling already quite rapidly. So that might not be even enough. So let's go ahead and we'll burn at like this pace. Yeah, see, that's making us go back up already. And we'll just push this up. Let's say 26 is good. And hopefully we should hit our target of 22. Yes, we are. Bish! We've hit our target. So while we're here, we're going to go ahead and clear out these 2 contracts. And why don't we observe the mystery goo? Let's see what the mystery goo says. Observation from Kerbal's upper atmosphere. That's great. Let's go ahead and do a crew report from the upper atmosphere. Excellent. Okay, remember, we're not going to do an EVA report from up here. So we are still climbing. That little extra boost I did was a little much, but that's okay. We are still kind of vertically directly above the Space Center. And so we need to switch back to this view because we need to test our parachutes. We need to drop down below 20,000 meters, and we need to keep our speed below 400, or below 390, I should say, specifically. And then we will deploy our parachutes, our Mark 16. These are Mark 16s, right? Yes, Mark 16 parachutes. Alright, so our speed is rapidly increasing. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of burning of fuel, because we're about to drop below. Okay, we've dropped below the thing. I'm going to deploy those, and we've completed the test. So they should provide the drag. The next ones we need to do is we need to drop below 8,000 meters. So once we're below 8,000 meters, we should be good. I'll go ahead and clear that notification. So we need to fly, we need to get below 8,000 meters and deploy our other parachutes. And this looks like it's going to be a pretty good landing, I think. Jebediah is certainly happy with it. And we might try to make it so that we land and kind of like tilt over so that Jebediah can get out and do ground samples and whatnot. I'll go ahead and disable SAS since we're in free fall now. Oh, we're within the range for it, so bam! And contract complete. We get a little bit of science boost for that. So if we check our meter, we're now at 21 science. That is excellent. And I can close this out because we don't need this menu anymore. So we have plenty of fuel left over for when we make our landing here. So I want to kind of point this way and do a little bit of burning, because I want to kind of push us towards the runway if I can. It's just sort of slowing us down. I don't think we're going to make it over to the runway. We're also at risk of landing there on the VAB. It's a bit crazy. So we'll engage these. Boosh! All of our parachutes have deployed, and we are having a nice gentle float down at 8 meters per second. We have a lovely view of our space center here in its isolated world where nothing else exists on the planet. That would be something really nice to see in a future update, is maybe like a city right here. But you know, we'll see. Okay, so we're coming dangerously close to the VAB. But I think we'll be fine. We're gonna be landing here behind the VAB. I love these like crosswalks and sidewalks and stuff they have. They're really nice, like touches of detail. This space center has gotten really fleshed out. So here we are. We're just barely missing the building, and this is perfect. They can just pick it up and wheel it right back in to the VAB for reusability. Boosh! Okay, we've landed. We've landed. Do I want to risk tipping it over so that he can climb out and do his reports? Actually, I think I can recover him separately, so I might as well. But we've already done from the space center, so there's no point in him taking any more samples. So we'll just recover the vessel, and let's see what we get. 4 experiments recovered. We gained 14 science, which gives us a total of 35. All right, and we got 15,000 funds recovered from our parts and from our fuels. So that's great, and we gained some reputation. So our reputation is now solidly green. That is excellent, excellent, excellent news. And we are ready now to take some more contracts. So let's see. We got altitude record of 33,000 meters. We'll take it. We're gonna just slowly work our way up through these, and remember, we're designing our missions for them. We're not gonna jump, even though we now can escape the atmosphere really easily. We're not gonna do that just yet. So test the Rockomax BACC solid fuel booster orbiting Kerbin. We're not gonna do orbiting Kerbin. Test the radial decoupler on a suborbital trajectory. We're not going suborbital. We're simply going to be hitting to 33,000 meters, which is a little less than half the distance to space. So test the TT-18A launch stability enhancer at Kerbin. So we can test these. That's great, and we're going to get a big boost of science from that. That's good. Test the stack decoupler landed at Kerbin. Sure, we can go ahead and test the stack decoupler landed at Kerbin. Why not? And test the separatron landed at Kerbin. We'll go for all these ones that we need to test while landed. I think we'll do a landed test. We want you to test the LV-909 liquid fuel engine in flight over Kerbin. Test the radial decoupler in flight over Kerbin. Test the solid fuel booster in flight over Kerbin. I think we should go for the oh, this is requiring us to be moving quite quickly, actually. 24,000. Yeah, you know what? We'll stick with the ones we take. The ones we have. We don't want to take too many. I mean, we've got 4 here in our list, so that's plenty. That's plenty. So we're gonna go ahead. Oh, before I do this, we're back out. We've got research points to spend. So we could go for the stability, which provides the radial decoupler, the nose cone, etc. But actually, this is the only thing we can get, because these are all 45. I was thinking these were 35, and I was going to say we have just enough points to buy them. But we don't. So we could get this for 18, or we could save up our science. I'm going to save up our science for now, because I really want to be able to get the science junior there. So we're gonna go ahead and save up our science points for when we complete these this next round of tests. So we are doing the 33,000 meter. 33,000. Okay, so let's make a new rocket pod, and let's name this Alt Record 33,000 meters Mark 1. So far we're doing good in that we've never needed a Mark 2 design. We've always managed to make it work. And you know, I think it might be time for us to hire an expendable astronaut, because our main dudes here are getting a little risky. So let's go for someone a bit. Let's go for Milzer Kerman here. I don't see anyone fancy, no special names or anything. So Milzer Kerman is both really stupid and really courageous. So we'll go ahead and hire him. I don't think this actually costs money to hire the applicants. So I'm not really sure what's there to prevent you from hiring a whole bunch of them. But they're there. Okay. So we need to test a separatron while landed at Kerbal. We've got the separatrons here. We need to test a stack decoupler while landed. And we need to test the stability enhancer while landed at Kerbal. You can notice this part is blue. That's because this is experimental. You can see here in this description, experimental. That means it is we haven't unlocked it yet in the tech tree. And it is just for this contract. So once we finish this contract, we will no longer be able to use this. It is manufactured by OBM Demolition Enterprises, and it generates 60 electricity per minute while you're hooked up to this thing. So that's interesting. So we need to be able to reach 33,000 meters, and we need to do so after we fire a separatron, after we fire a stack decoupler, and using the launch stability enhancers. So the actual design of the rocket doesn't really matter that much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the same design we had last time, but I'm going to add solid fuel boosters to our engine design. So let me put which ones do I don't need any sort of special engine aside from the separatrons, do I? So I will add the ones with thrust gimbaling for control. And I might purposefully angle us off into the distance so that we land in a different biome for when we do research and stuff. But the amount you recover is dependent on how far away from the space center you end up. So there is that to keep in mind. Let's see here. I need to add fuel tanks to the outside with our thrust ring. And I need to put on my 2 solid fuel boosters, like so. Those are going to stay attached the entire time. And I'm going to put on my stack decouplers. You know, I'll just do a single stack decoupler there in the center, and it will literally just have a thing attached to it so that it decouples. And for giggles, where's my separatrons? We need to test our separatrons as well. So I'm going to put these here, like so, and they're going to literally do nothing. So let's do a bit of staging here. First we'll decouple that, then we will fire separatrons, then we will fire solid fuel boosters, then we will fire main engines, and we will put parachutes on everything. And we won't use the radial mounted parachutes. I think having those 5 parachutes will be plenty. Let's go ahead and change the staging around like this. This should be more than enough to complete all the contracts. And oh, we're nearly forgetting our launch stability enhancers. We need to put these on somewhere. we'll do like that. That should be holding up the main body of the rocket, while also providing clearance for liftoff. And so we will decouple those when we fire our solid rocket boosters. Alright, let's save this. Let's put in our expendable Milzer Kerman here. And let's go for launch. Boosh. Okay, here we are. We've got no science parts to speak of. That might be an oversight. You know what? Let's actually revert flight. This is one of the few times we can revert the flight. We're reverting to the assembly. I want to put on 2 of these, just in case I actually do end up succeeding in my plan to land in a new biome. I want to be able to grab some science from it. Okay, Jebediah Kerman. So first off, we're going to be testing the stack decoupler. Where is the stack decoupler? Stack decoupler. Test. Test was successful. We jettisoned it straight down. Let's go ahead and pop this open. We get 2 science. Hooray! Okay, let us test the separatrons. Separatrons fired successful. We got 6 science from that. Excellent. And they're completely spent. Alright, next we need to test the launch stability enhancers. In 3, 2, 1. Oh, look at that. They were so graceful. They let go of the rocket and away we went. Oh, I forgot to engage SAS, but that's okay. The rocket naturally leaned in the direction I wanted to go, which was out that way. However, I do wish to be going generally sort of straight up. So I want to kind of push myself back into the straight up direction. Alright, that's good. Let's take a look at this. 14 science. Hooray! We should have enough to get the science pack there that had the Science Junior and had the battery and etc. parts. So our solid fuel boosters are nearly out of juice. So I'm going to go ahead and engage our main engines. And the solid fuel has worn off. Okay. Let's head straight up. Remember, we're headed for 33,000 meters. I'm gonna switch to resources tab though, just to keep an eye on my supplies. Okay, we'll pull up the map view here. So 33,000 meters. Last time we had to set our sights for roughly 2,000 to 3,000 above where we needed to be. So we're going to go ahead and do that same thing. So we're going to shoot for 35,000 meters. And if we can hit 35,000 meters in the map view, then we will be good. So there we go. And I also want to continue in my kind of over here direction a bit, just so that we make sure we land in a new biome than the Space Center. We're pretty high. We're getting a good view. We can see the runway over there. We can see the mountain range. We can see the curvature of the planet. So we've reached 30,000. Alright, that should be plenty high. It's going to be dropping back down, but we'll be able to see it. We'll disengage the SAS because SAS is running our electric charge there. And the electric charge only recharges when we're running the engines. So here we go. We're drifting upwards. Yeah, we're definitely going to pass 33,000 at the rate we're going. This is wonderful. I believe this will, if we try to do the science, it'll just say upper atmosphere again. But that's okay. We're about to hit it. We've hit it. We've set our altitude record. We get lots of money. We got 17,000 funds, nearly 100 prestige or whatever. So let's check the goo canister. Let's see what it says. From Kerbin's upper atmosphere. Yeah, we've already done this one, so we're getting basically no science. We can reset the experiment. And we are on our way back down now. So I will go ahead and I will deploy the parachutes automatically. They will pop open, and you can see that they fully deploy at altitude of 500. You can now adjust that sort of thing, which is a wonderful control. We are coming straight in on target to land there. You can see we got a bit of debris left over at the Space Center. We might as well put SAS back on. The electric drain is not that much.